Across North America, 90% of university media coverage is dedicated to the men's Big Three, with so many sports teams in the category being dominated by men. Many that do not fit the mold get left behind. With basketball, football, and baseball dominating the media coverage, some sports teams find themselves lost in the background. While these teams have their games and accomplishments published around school, female athletes, like the competitive dance team, find minimal representation.
I've been dancing since I was 3, so I think it's 19 years now. It lets me express myself in a different way from saying words. For me, it's an easier way to express myself, a more freeing way to express myself. And it's also just, it's fun, and it's what I've done my whole life. I don't really know any different. I think the feeling of being on stage and like just feeling in your element with whatever choreography you're doing, feeling really good in it, and really expressive. Yeah, killing it on stage is the best part. But no, being on stage is the best part for sure. People have, I don't know, they don't validate it as a sport as often as it should be. It is an art form, like it's part of the arts, but I think people doubt how much athleticism dancers need in order to perform the art. Dancers are supposed to make things look effortless when they're on the stage, and I think that dancers do such a good job of that sometimes that people start actually thinking that it is effortless and it is easy. They don't see the work that goes on in the studio, practicing, doing things over and over again. Dancers are striving for perfection. So if you think that being perfect is impossible, then you don't know how much work a dancer puts into their routines.
We train starting in September. We run our practices from as early as 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. every single night. So depending on how many dances you commit to, that will determine how long you're practicing for.
Even though the competitive dance team is one of the largest groups on campus with over 50 participants, they still have issues seeking validation from the athletics board.
I think our representation in the school has gotten a lot better over the past 2 years. Last year it really started picking up, and this year it's been a huge improvement, but I still think that there's a ways to go in terms of our representation on campus. I think on campus specifically, it's associated more with entertaining fans at a sports game, and there's been so many people who they just see us dancing at the basketball games, for example, and they think that's all we do, and then they finally come to one of our showcases or they come to one of our competitions and they're blown away by the real dancing that we do. Not to say that it's not real at the games, but it's a very different vibe. You see a lot more serious stuff when you go watch the dance team on stage. We had a number this year that was called Body Love, and it was all about women who, it was all about self-harm and eating disorders and just women who look at themselves and think that they're ugly. So you'll never see that at a basketball game.
One of the main critics towards dance and its legitimacy in the sporting world is that it does not carry a traditional point system.
At our competitions, there is scoring. There's 3 judges, and they're marking based on the dancer's technique, based on their performance. If it's a group on the stage, based on their formations and how together they're dancing as a group. There's some competitions, especially at hip-hop competitions, where crowd reaction is a big part of your score as well. And typically they also look at your costumes and what you're wearing. So there's a lot to consider when marking a dance. And they're out of 100. The large group category, our hip-hop placed second as well. And Laurier's contemporary dance to Blood on the Leaves beat us. It was amazing. When I was younger, when I was more into the competitive dance at the studio, I would get really frustrated when people would kind of just delegitimize it, because at the studio I was training 25 plus hours a week, and I've gotten a little bit better with it. I think I've just started understanding why there's a tendency to delegitimize dance, but it is still frustrating. You still get the comments you're not really doing much up there. What do you guys even do? And but it has gotten better for us on campus. But like I said, there's still a very limited scope of what people see Brock dance as.
Due to limited media coverage and small turnouts, certain teams find themselves falling behind, while others find their way to the top.
Hello.
Do you think you have good representation in the school?
Media representation?
No.
Do you think-
Shit.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
not the basketball team. I'm just straight up.
No,
not
the
basketball
wrestling,
team.
not the basketball team. Wrestling
Yeah.
deserves more too because they're awesome.
Yeah.
Think
It's
that.
unfair because like they say that those sports bring in more money. It's not our fault that our stadium's not blocked off like Laurier's or Westerns and stuff, where they just sell tickets there.
Yeah. Can't sell seats at the field.
No.
You think men get it better?
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. What do you? What? Yes, of course they do.
Good
More people
answer.
just like want to watch guys play sports.
Too, like even when you have Meridian Center games and stuff like that, what game is promoted more? It's always the men's game that's promoted more.
It's cool. Next year, like at least for women's soccer team, half of our home games are gonna be after the guys' games instead of before. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, see, why can't they do that? Why do the men's games always have the better time?
Even with media increase and time slot changes, women's sports still seem to suffer from the athletic department. Just this week alone, funding was denied from the women's field hockey team after years of battle. Even with over 40 hours of practice a week, the dance team still isn't considered an actual team.
Okay, so we are under BUSU as a student club, but our club Brock Dance is split up into two sections. So there's the recreation side. They have their classes every week, and then they do the year-end recital. And then there's the competitive side. So we have our classes every week, and we train, and we compete in 3 competitions in March. And we do the showcase in January and the recital at the end of March. But because we're registered as a BUSU club, the Brock Dance competitive team gets a little bit lost. It's not recognized as an athletic team or an athletic club. Therefore, we run into some problems with funding. We do a lot of our own fundraising, or a lot of us just have to pay for a lot of our competitive fees ourselves, and they can get pretty pricey depending on how many dances you're in. But yeah, so we're kind of stuck in this. We compete, but we're not recognized as a competitive athletic anything on campus. So.
For the dance team, it is a marathon, not a sprint, a battle to keep fighting.
It's definitely something that we have to work for, or push for, I guess, a little bit more. That pushing, like constantly tagging the people in our Instagram posts that we want to feature us, or reaching out to the Brock Press ourselves. Sort of making things happen for ourselves has kind of been the strategy for the past year. I would say that that's helped us the most probably over the past 2 years, is like pushing not just like our family outside of school to come and support us, but pushing our peers to come out and to watch. We've gotten a lot of our friends to come out and just watch what we can do over the past year and a bit, and people are really impressed, and it's awesome to be able to show our peers what we can actually do, and a lot of them have just gotten so hyped from it, and they start coming to everything just because they love to watch. They become dance moms. So that, yeah, word of mouth and like pushing it has really helped. It's a lot of grunt work, but like it gets people to show up, and like I said, they're always impressed at the end, which is really nice.
Despite the ongoing struggle that women face in order to get equal representation in the media, women still prove themselves worthy of their passion. Although there is still a ways to go, the Brock competitive dance team, alongside women's sports alike, are starting to see a change in their media representation and greater opportunities to shine. So, instead of waiting for that day to come, we'll try and make that day today.